Years ago you found a baby dragon that had been abandoned. You carefully helped mend its wounds and taught it to hunt and survive on its own. Now, years later, the dragon has returned to you with some of its young. It wants you to raise its weakest hatchling. If you were a lonely old woman like me, you'd have taken in that whelp too. 3 years ago Razor nearly bit off my finger when I first fed her that old cellar mouse. Hiding her in the haystacks was easy until she nearly burnt down the barn with a mere sneeze. By the time she was the size of a shed, the village had left me to live in the Needle Rock Mountains just south where the rivers kiss the sea. And when Razor left, I wanted to fly with her, grasp neatly onto her scales and fly someplace new. She took my collar by the teeth and carried me back to the village. The mayor held his straw hat tight to his scalp from the gusts as Razor took off. 5 years since that day I worked quietly in the cellars of the pub carrying barrels and tending to the ales and wines until Razor's return. A commotion draws me outside. Skyward fingers and muffled profanities. A dragon lands just outside our small village with a pack of whelps that follow. I raised my fingers and ran them along her tough hide. When I bent my knuckles, they hurt from age and work. She has aged far more gracefully than I. She twists her neck twice and a whelp flops off into my open arms. Razor had carried it from far, I could tell, as the twigs that clung between its claws held the smell of pine. Dragons cannot speak, but the way they stare at you, you get the feeling of what they say. Razor, she asks of me, before taking flight back to the northern skies. I take the whelp into my arms and return to the Needle Rock Mountains. But this whelp is far sicklier. When she sneezes, no fire comes from her throat. When she flaps her wings, they are weak. Her cries are needy. I feed her trapped rabbits and the brown toads with unlively hops. I'm far too old now to snatch anything else before it notices my intent. On the first day the whelp tries to fly, I name her Plod. She hovers weakly in the air, jowls sucking in for air as she wheezes out gusts of ash and smoke before tumbling to the dirt. I pick away the blades of grass from her hide and rub her along the head. The next weeks are the same. She throws her wings into abrupt patterns and struggles to stay higher than my shoulders before terrible tumbles. She twists her foot at the end of the week and can't even bother to make an effort. She merely sulks in a small little space where the rocks are tight around